Welcome to another episode on our channel. You'll remember this figure. This is Michonne from The Walking Dead. I got interested in the show, started watching it, and then wanted to collect some of the figures. But I came to the game very late. So 3-0 had been making these figures for some time. They're all sold out. And if you look on eBay, they cost a fortune. And I couldn't justify paying a fortune for just like one figure. But I really wanted Michonne. And so I decided, even though my husband can do 3D resin prints, he was busy at the time. So I decided to buy a 3D resin print from a 3D print vendor on eBay. And it came, and I let it sit to the side for a bit and decided I had time and put the base together and painted that. And it looked really good, and got the boots painted and put them in there. And I said, wow, those are kind of big feet. Maybe she just wears big boots. I don't know. But then I got the pants on her. I'm going like, I don't think this is 1/6 scale. I got everything else on, painted it. It's definitely not 1/6 scale. And I think it was an honest mistake by the vendor, the eBay vendor who printed this. He said he had gotten the model from a modeler, and this was listed as 1/6 scale. Well, it's obviously not 1/6 scale. It's like more like 1/5 scale. And if I put what my husband made, because I didn't really want to, he offered to send a 1/6 scale to me to recalibrate things and send it. And I said, I'll just take a partial refund. I'm good. I'd already painted it. The thing is it had a lot of indents and bumps and so forth. So my husband had to really sand things down and had to put it under UV light for some resin that had not cured properly. So I didn't really want to get another figure from him, the eBay vendor. So my husband bought the model and printed one for me. And this is truly 1/6 scale. So I'm very happy that it turned out the way it did. It prompted my husband to make me happy and do this. And then I painted it like I did this one. And it turned out very well. Well, the reason why I bring this up is because I saw some busts on CG Trader, and I thought they looked really cool. And I asked my husband if he wouldn't mind printing out some of these things. Now, the big thing about this stuff is not that you can't get the model, but when you do get the model and it says it's supported via 3D print, all that means is that somebody used some system to put structural supports on it. Doesn't mean they put the structural supports on well. And what we found with this figure that we had purchased from eBay, the structural supports had not been put on well. My husband did a great job on this figure, and after some time, he was able to get the structural supports, because this is a time-consuming process, in the right places so a finger, for example, wouldn't fail to print. And once you get good at this, it's not as time-consuming, but at first it's a learning process. There's a learning curve, and he's getting to a place where this is becoming easier to do. So this basically, the resin to make this was $12 for the figure itself. For the structural supports, it was $4.50. But that's a pittance to pay if you're willing to paint something. So the one thing, though, is it's 1/6 scale. So I said I wouldn't do anything but 1/6 scale. But again, never say never. I did say I would never do collect bust, and here I am. But, with the rising costs of everything these days, this makes perfect sense to me. So I am going to have a collection of busts, and starting with Ironman. So we're going to pause and get him on a turn tray. This is just the raw version right now, just the resin. And then when it has a coat of paint on it before I start shadowing, put shadows in, maybe use a wash, that sort of thing. We'll show it to you again. So we'll pause right now and get him on a turntable. So this is in raw form with just resin. I really like the Avengers across the front. We'll just kind of go around so you can see him. He has a striking pose. He does go down to the leg, but technically he is a bust. I think the model itself was like $5, and like I said, the print was $12 plus $4.50 for structural supports, but he's looking really good. There we go. So we'll pause for now, and we'll do him in one color. Right now, I just want to do one color bust, and then maybe venture into the painting them more delicately. But for now, one color. I haven't decided which color yet, but I'm leaning in the direction of silver, and we'll take it from there. We are back. My husband has painted this in metallic silver. It looks awesome, but I need to go in and do highlights so that details stand out. I don't have time to do it today, but it will be done. This statue bust came from 3D Wicked on CG Trader. If you're looking for a great artist, he's the one to go to in terms of figures and busts and that sort of thing. Just a very creative talent. Now, this was 3D print ready, but 3D print ready does not mean perfectly ready. It is very likely not even close to perfectly ready. My husband had to go in and figure out where to put more scaffolding so a finger wouldn't fail, a hand wouldn't fail. Even then, nothing ever comes out perfect. There are slight imperfections that may be due to maybe not putting a scaffolding piece in a certain place, or it could just be the resin print, just an anomaly, just a fail with the print itself. So imperfections can pop up. Doesn't mean you can't fix them after the fact. A little magic sculpting, a little repainting, and should be good to go. We're going to go around so you can see him from all angles at this distance, and then we'll get a close-up and go around, and then I'll have my husband zoom in on an imperfection to show you the types of things that can happen, even if you're really good at this stuff. So we'll look at him from all angles now. Again, it's just metallic paint, no highlights. And now we'll get some close-ups and do the roundabout again. I fell in love with the statue when I first saw it. I love his hand out like this. So let's just go around. Again, keep in mind, there are no highlights yet on this statue, so it's going to look a little awesome flat. All right, there are two imperfections that my husband has noticed, so we'll get a close-up of each one of these two imperfections. So this is his left shoulder. There might look like an imperfection, but that's actually a rivet. There is an imperfection here and a few here left by scaffolding being removed and leaving little pockets or little indents, I guess is a good way to put it. It's nothing that some magic sculpting can't fix, and just a little repainting of this part will be good to go. And even then, you might not even notice this unless you're really looking hard at the statue. There's one more imperfection that he's aware of on the statue, and we'll get set up for that now. Now, my husband put a ton of scaffolding in this arena here so that no pieces would be damaged. But you can see there's an indent here. Now that could be perhaps not enough scaffolding was used, even though he thought he did it very well. Or it could mean that when he removed a scaffold, that it just broke a little in this arena. Again, it's nothing that Magic Sculpt can't fix. And a little spray paint metallic, go back over it, and we'll be good to go. Even though you're careful, this is somewhat tedious work at times, and just one misjudgment and or one under calculation in terms of scaffolding can leave something like this in place. So it's a tricky process. Here's one last look at our Ironman bust. He looks awesome in metallic silver, but keep in mind, I haven't done the highlights yet. Just haven't had time to do it today. When he gets done, he's going to look even better. So I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.